Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new around here, my name is Daniel Bernas and I'm a former national and world champion in the sport of Arnis. In this video, we're going to be talking about tips that you can use to improve your chances of winning in an Arnis competition. Now, this is going to be a series of videos where I share some tips and insights into increasing your chances of winning in an Arnis sports competition. Now, just to be clear, following these tips won't guarantee success every single time. It doesn't even guarantee me success every single time. But I have found over the years that these are the things that have helped me get better and better and improve my performance in Arnis competitions. And in this video, I'll be sharing these tips with you, hopefully to improve your chances of winning in sports competitions as well. So for part one of Okay, wait. Let me just diffuse the light again. Much better. So for part one of this series, we're going to start where I believe I excel the most, which is Anyo competitions. So in my opinion, set routines tend to come out redundant, especially when you join a competition as a group and as a club. You end up looking like you're doing the same thing, and this may affect how the judges perceive the overall performance. Now, do note that there are competitions that expect you to do a specific routine. The kinds of competitions I'm talking about are the ones that I participate in where you can pretty much perform whatever routine you want. Putting your own personal twists in your performance makes the performance look more authentic and more natural to you. As someone who has had some experience judging and as someone who has watched a bunch of Anyo competitions, sometimes when a performer is struggling to recall the next movement or when they're doing something that's just completely rehearsed, it starts to look obvious. You can tell by the look of their face that they're just doing something that's very mechanical. Looking like you're doing things naturally and effortlessly will help in the overall aesthetic of your performance. Try to learn to be comfortable with improvising on the spot or coming up with your own movements. In fact, majority of what I do on stage, whether it's a competition or a demonstration, is pretty much free flow. I'm just improvising. So connecting this to the first tip, don't just do your performances like a robot. It's not about presenting X number of movements, X number of techniques. It's not about showing what you've memorized over what you've learned. To me, it's more about how you execute them. You need to put emotion because it's a performance. The expression in your eyes, your shouts, your body languages, all come into play. Think of it like putting on the persona of a character. Think of it like acting. The more confident you appear to be, the more interesting the persona you're trying to portray, and the better the feel of your performance. Now, this one might be controversial for some people. Again, this is just my opinion based on what I have found to work for me. But I think it's important that when you're doing an Anyo competition, you completely let go of trying to be realistic. If you're trying to win, focusing on realistic movements isn't really going to help you. It's a performance after all, emphasis on the word performance. Theatrics and exaggeration are what make action movies look cool. They're what make them look appealing to people who are watching. And even realistic choreography in movies have some level of scripting and choreography in order to make the scene more cinematic. Let go of trying to replicate what's going to work in a real fight. It's not about efficient movements, it's not about realism, it's about taking what you've learned from combat and translating that into an artistic performance. The more public demonstrations you do, the more tournaments that you join, the more comfortable you become doing these performances. It's all part of practice. Your first few competitions are going to be practice. And in fact, if you do it right, every single competition is technically practice for the next competition. When I was starting out, I made the mistake of seeing each competition as the end goal themselves. I would even watch my tournament videos right after and just focus on what I did right. I'd be like, wow, I did this, wow, I did that. And while there's nothing wrong with, giving yourself a pat on the back for what you did right, I think it's also important to see each competition as a step towards the next one. So take a look at what you can improve on as well. It was when I started seeing each one as a step into the next event that I was able to start improving faster and build enough momentum to reach both national and world championships. And even then, I see each one as a step into my further growth as a martial artist. To me, it's more about the journey than the superficial goal of a medal or a trophy. It's all about constant improvement and development. So I hope you found this video useful. Comment below your thoughts. Leave a comment to let me know what you think should be in part 2 of this series. And as always, I will see you in the next video.
Yeah!